So last Tuesday, we had our club assembly. First club assembly in a long time where we were able to meet in person. We met at Nancy's Italian, had a wonderful time. So the club assembly really is when we get to talk about what we're doing, okay, the things that we're doing, the differences that we're making. We had presentations by each leader of the transformational projects, led by Dick Wolf, water by Janina Douglas, and Candace covered the pre-K initiative, which is kind of installed a little bit, but we see that picking up some speed in the near future. We also had the chairs and vice chairs talk about what they've done with their committee. Successes, talked about some of the goals that they have this year and some goals that they have for next year. So it's kind of a passing of the baton from either a chair to a vice chair or a chair to a committee member, again, to the committee. So it was excellent. President-elect Bob Bernardo covered his goals for next year also. So again, we had a great night. And it's a good transition into my next topic. Since we are ending this Rotary year and moving into a new Rotary year, now is the time to sign for those committees. Okay? So if you're not on a committee, find a committee that you're passionate about. That makes it a lot easier to serve on that committee. The committees, basically, we do service projects. We have other events maybe planned by Rotarians. So the committee is really where it starts. You know, again, some of the projects that we've done have been fantastic, even in the past year with the pandemic. So please seriously consider joining a committee. That's, again, that's where the real work is done for Rotary. And now it is both with sadness and excitement that I have to announce that Kathy Tate is retiring. But hang on, everybody. She is not retiring until the end of September. So we've got a few more months with Kathy Tate. I can tell you that, and I'm just going to read a couple of quotes that I've received or that we've received from Rotarians. First one you probably guessed who it's from. Besides being the smile that greeted us at Rotary each Monday, you're the glue of consistency over the years that kept our club running smoothly behind the scenes. Your leadership was probably the most appreciated by presidents like myself, who couldn't imagine taking on such a responsibility without your helpful hands. And, of course, your attitude to guide us through. Well, you are recognized by all members as an important part of our club structure. My club duties this year have allowed me to fully appreciate the many unsung duties taken on to not only make the club function, but to thrive. A couple of other quotes. I cannot begin to say how much you will be missed, both by the tremendous job that you do and also personally to each and every one of us who know you. I look forward to hearing about your plans for the future. Congratulations, Kathy. Bittersweet news. We all appreciate you and your commitment to the club and keeping us afloat. Hopefully nothing but great experiences in your next chapter. One more that I really like, okay, because it's interaction left me feeling good. What I appreciate most is your willingness to answer questions and help people understand things and processes. Not everyone is that willing or that patient. Thanks for all you do to support the club and all the people, to support the club and all the people in it. And just when you thought you were over, when they thought they were over, I have a few more months left to bother you with more questions. So again, it is bittersweet news. We're looking forward to the next chapter, not only for Kathy, but also for our club. So. And now, I'll ask Scott Hinshaw, Board Liaison to the Membership Engagement Committee, to come to the floor, Mike, and tell us about this Thursday's event at the National Museum of the Great Lakes. Scott. Thank you, President Adams. Appreciate it. All right, so we have finally some, engagement in person. So we're really excited about it. It's going to be a great time. We have some fellowship. It'll be this Thursday. I know you've heard about it a few times already, but this Thursday at the National Museum of the Great Lakes, and we're really excited about it. It's 4:30 to 7 o'clock. Please RSVP either through, I think we had a link on the website we spoke, where you can tell Abby if you're coming, but it's going to be really enjoyable. We have Tap 49 is going to be out there. We're going to have food, and there's going to be a bit of a scavenger hunt, which should be really fun. So we're all looking forward to it. Hope to see you guys there in person. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you, Scott. And finally, I'll ask Kelly Train to come to the podium and introduce today's speaker. Kelly?
Thanks, President Alex. And again, Toledo Rotary is so great to see everybody today, and also our guests that are watching, our co-members watching online. I'd like to invite somebody that's very close to me. We've been colleagues now for several years, and that's Christy Gustin. She is our regional director for the North Region of Girl Scouts in Western Ohio. As you may know or may not know, our Girl Scout Council is the sixth largest council in the country, and we're working in 3 regions. Christy is giving us exemplary leadership through all the processes of what we do. She's a career Girl Scout and a lifelong Girl Scout, growing up in Illinois and then working as a camp director at Camp Libby in Defiance, and then coming to Toledo. I'm pleased to call Christy a friend and to invite her to come and give me our presentation today. Thank you, Christy.
Thank you so much for inviting me here to speak with you today. We'll see if we can get the presentation rolling right along with us here.
Yes.
I'm good, but osmosis hasn't worked yet, so. Thank you so much for inviting me here to speak with you today. As Kelly mentioned, I've been a lifelong Girl Scout for 37 years, starting with that very first Brownie troop that I joined at the age of 7, and then had the opportunity to just carry that on through my professional life. And I'm so excited to share with you things that the Girl Scouts are doing today. Our extraordinary journey began more than 109 years ago with that very first Girl Scout, Julia Lowe. On March 12, 1912, in Savannah, Georgia, Julia Lowe started a movement with an emphasis on inclusiveness, the outdoors, self-reliance, and service. And that spirit continues today as we're preparing girls to thrive in 21st century skills. We want them to build knowledge and the character that it takes to be courageous decision makers, confident problem solvers, and creative thinkers. Through hands-on, small group, and cooperative activities, we're supporting girls' social and emotional development in ways found to promote academic success and motivation. From that very first gathering of a troop of 18 culturally and ethnically diverse girls, Juliet broke conventions of her time. She reached across class, culture, and ethnic boundaries to ensure that all girls had a place where they could develop their leadership skills. And in 1912, in the midst of a progressive era, but at a time when women did not yet have the right to vote, this nearly deaf 51-year-old woman sparked a worldwide movement and had girls embrace their individuality, their strength, and their intellect. And every year since then, we have been honoring her vision and her legacy by building girls with courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. And this remains our mission today. And because of her vision, currently we are 2.5 million members strong. 1.7 million girls being supported by more than 750,000 adult volunteers, powering every girl to change the world. I'm proud to be part of that movement. Girl Scouts of Western Ohio, our local council here, is the 6th largest council in the country out of 112 councils. We offer that Girl Scout leadership experience to approximately 35,000 girls with the support of 12,000 dedicated volunteers throughout the 32 counties on the western side of the state. And our council, because of just the size and number of girls we serve, are split into 3 regions. And I oversee the 10 counties here in Northwest Ohio, where we're serving nearly 9,000 girls through 2,000 dedicated volunteers. But the Girl Scout program, it's important. It's based on 4 pillars for girls. And our 4 pillars are STEM, outdoors, life skills, and entrepreneurship. And these pillars are designed to meet girls where they are today and grow with them as they progress through the program. So whether she's building a robotic arm, coding her first app, building a shelter in the backcountry, learning to fly a plane, preparing for her first hike, learning about civics and democracy, or being the best cookie boss that she can be, she has an exciting array of choices to suit her interests at every level. Well, let's take a closer look at some of our pillars. Our first pillar is the STEM pillar. This stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Why is STEM important? You get it in school and everywhere else. Well, research shows that by 3rd and 4th grade, girls have already decided if they like science and math or not. And today, right now, women only account for 20% of bachelor's degrees that are being earned in engineering, computer science, and physics. And we believe that Girl Scouts are positioned to do something about that. Over the last 3 years, we have launched more than 40 STEM-focused badges for our girls, all with the aim of encouraging girls' interest from an early age in STEM and environmental conservation. These badges are focused on things like robotics, engineering, computer science, coding, cybersecurity, and most recently, automotive engineering. What a better focus for our girls living here in Northwest Ohio. Our second pillar is the outdoor pillar. It'll catch up in a second. The outdoor pillar includes everything from simple outdoor activities to outdoor skills, camping trips, and our council summer camps. One of the biggest myths that I always hear about Girl Scouting is, oh, we wish you did more outdoor stuff. Well, we do. Girl Scouts of Western Ohio actually has 6 camp properties across the state of Ohio, where girls can explore, participate in high ropes, canoeing, kayaking, archery, and many other outdoor pursuits. As a matter of fact, our girls are backpacking the Appalachian Trail. They're llama trekking through the Smoky Mountains. They're whitewater rafting, they're camping, and so much more. And the life skills pillar. This includes things like career exploration, civics engagement, conflict resolution and self-esteem, healthy living, problem solving, and taking action. In the year 2020, we rolled out a set of new democracy and civics badges, helping girls explore the different areas of government and women's history in that government. And it couldn't have been a better year, with 2020 being an election year, but also the 100th anniversary of the women's suffrage movement and getting the right to vote. And our fourth pillar includes, of course, our famous Girl Scout cookie program. They're focused on entrepreneurship. But it is more than just our cookie sale and our fall product sale. We also focus on financial literacy, money management, and all of those skills. And of course, our cookie program does help them grow in 5 critical ways.
They learn goal setting, money management, decision making, and business ethics, right along with those people skills. Who can deny that little Daisy Girl Scout outside of Walmart asking you to buy a box of cookies from her when she asks? Our top cookie sellers, as a matter of fact, are right here in the North region. Those girls are selling upwards of 5,000 boxes of cookies during the cookie sale. And the money that those girls make fund all of the trips and service that that troop does for the entire following year. We definitely have some cookie bosses in our midst. Through all four of these pillars, girls find what they're passionate about. They give back through service, and they're doing their leadership awards, the gold, silver, and bronze awards, which are the highest awards that Girl Scouts can earn. But just as Girl Scouts have experienced changes since 1912, it'll catch up. There have been significant changes just in the past 18 months as we face a worldwide pandemic. Girls have never before faced more challenging circumstances than they have in the last 18 months. I'm sure that we can all agree. They face school closures, learning loss, disrupted routines, as well as isolation, pain and reckoning with racial injustice, and financial hardships that are impacting their health and their well-being. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed even more inequalities in our society, affecting specifically our low-income minority and at-risk populations at far greater rates. Many families are going to be impacted for years to come. And now more than ever, girls need quality, formative experiences like the Girl Scouts can offer. And in the challenging year ahead, as things start to return to normal, we know our work is not done here. We are emphasizing 3 areas that are critical to girls' success right now and over this next year: supporting their mental health, mitigating learning loss, and helping girls reflect the values of justice and fairness. Our country is in the middle of a teen health crisis, and girls are at the epicenter of that crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic compounded the social and economic stressors that girls face. And a recent study found that 80% of adolescent girls have reported feeling more alone and isolated than ever before. I want you to meet Lexi. Lexi is a 6th grader who, like most girls her age, has not liked her body for as long as she can remember. During the school shutdown, with her iPhone as her only company, she spent hours scrolling through images of girls that she thought were skinnier, prettier, and happier than she was. Every day feeling just a little bit worse about herself. In September of 2020, her Girl Scout troop participated in a 6-week journey led by a group of diverse women role models. And during that journey, Lexi learned how to identify unhealthy body images. And she and her troop members learned to rewrite the stories that they tell themselves. Lexi's also learned how to spot how media influences her choices, and understanding the larger role that media is playing in her life. It chokes me up when I think about girls that are facing that every day. In Girl Scouting, to help girls like Lexi, we are stepping up. We're ensuring that girls have access to standards let up. We created a K-12 patch program called the Thrive program, which helped girls focus on positive mental health. We are training our troop leaders and volunteers to support girls' positive mental health and to recognize and engage in conversations with girls around stress and anxiety during and after the COVID-19 crisis. We're also providing activities and adventures that encourage girls to get outside and explore their surroundings while being safe. Girl Scouts also stands for empowering all girls. In every community across our nation, from every background and in every ability and every economic circumstance. We want girls to create the change that they want to see in the world. And we're committed to doing all we can to use that collective power. Girls are recognizing how they can make that change within their own communities. And we believe in sisterhood, justice, and fairness. And we are in this for the long haul with our girls. I want you to meet Deja. Deja and her family live in a housing community. And the conditions are not always safe, clean, or healthy. Residents are not encouraged to speak up for change. In fact, they might even face negative consequences. Deja is part of a Girl Scout group that is fully funded by outreach donations. And she and her troop members are learning about how to make positive changes in a safe way to speak up in their community. And by learning those ways to work for change, they are working to make their own communities better for not just themselves, but for their families and all the members in their community. To support justice and equity, Girl Scouts is living by our pledge to stand against racism and work for a society that is just for all. Providing additional resources, training, and support to our adult volunteers to ensure that they are champions for all girls and they're equipped to serve all girls equitably. We're hosting workshops and panel discussions that highlight diversity, equity, and inclusion, access, and racial justice with women panelists from diverse backgrounds. And the third priority, mitigating learning loss. Studies have found that full-time on-led learning does not deliver the academic results that in-class instruction does. Engaging in supplemental programming like Girl Scouts keeps girls engaged and learning. They're participating in and out of school activities that engage them in active learning, which is especially important now as they're getting back to school. I want you to meet Sophie. In 2020, Sophie was a kindergartner who was a little bit more than halfway through her very first year of school when the shutdown took her away from her friends and her daily routine. Sophie's mom described the daily struggle to stay focused on a full day of online lessons. She was losing interest in school fast. Sophie's first experience with school could have defined her entire academic career. But when Sophie joined an online robot building workshop with her Daisy troop, her mom said that robot lit a spark. And now all she can talk about is wanting to go into the healthcare field and being a doctor. She is excited to get back to school. To mitigate learning loss, Girl Scouts is providing Girl Scouts at Home, a dedicated program initiatives where volunteers and troop leaders are keeping girls and troops connected through online learning, virtual events, troop meetings, and collaborative service projects. We're also keeping our commitment to STEM programming, which has been important. We're ensuring girls and volunteers can connect, whether it's virtually in a hybrid setting like today, by providing in 3 initiatives to get them there. The Girl Scouts at Home, which I mentioned, is an investment in people, technology, and program development to ensure that every girl can access state-of-the-art curriculum provided by the Girl Scout leadership experience. Second one is our Camp for Every Girl initiative, which sends more than 100 girls every summer from Title I to summer camp by removing the barriers that those girls face.
be it financial, transportation, access to health screening, or camping equipment. We provide it all so that those girls have safe access to that opportunity. And finally, our community education program, which partners with our school administrators, our teachers, and our community agencies to serve 2,700 girls here in Northwest Ohio alone. Most of those girls being here in Metro Toledo. Through that program, we provided discovery packs. Those were dropped in every girl's individual house, where they had a little soup sack full of 6 weeks of activities, all the supplies they needed, and activities that they could do at home with their families as well. And then they could engage in online Zoom meetings to stay engaged during the school day. These initiatives to help girls grow from the challenges that they are facing only happen when we have partners that care enough to make a difference. And it's because of people choosing to partner with the Girl Scouts of Western Ohio that our girls are going to emerge stronger at the end of this. We want to thank you, the Rotary Club of Toledo, for your support, as well as our many other partners who have made a commitment to helping us serve girls and see them through this crisis. Thank you so much for inviting me here to speak to you today.
Okay, if anybody has any questions, please come up to the floor mic. And there will also be being questions from our Zoom participants.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is, what effect has the Boy Scouts of America now allowing Girl Scouts to go after becoming Eagle Scout as far as your membership?
That rolled out well before the pandemic. Here's what I'll say to you. I love that girls have a multitude of opportunities. We have actually not seen a huge impact on our membership. We know that there are girls taking advantage of both opportunities, which we wholly support and recommend. And of course, our girls are also pursuing their high towards Girl Scouting, their goal award, which is at equivalence as well.
So I've read the news a couple times recently that there's actually an overabundance of Girl Scout cookies right now. I was just curious what you guys have done maybe to help resolve that, or if this is across Western Ohio. And I also like to offer my assistance in any way useful for that crisis.
And I appreciate you taking it on the chin for us so much. I am really happy to announce to you that while we've heard about some of the situations that our sister councils across the country are facing, Girl Scouts of Western Ohio is not in the same position. Our girls did a bad job of selling cookies this year, and we're selling out. They were coming to us consistently saying, "We need more cookies." Of course, it doesn't even make a second order from the baker. We also did a really good job of forecasting what our sale would look like. So I'm happy to tell you that here in Girl Scouts of Western Ohio, we're sold out for next year. Sorry, everyone. Congratulations.
Thanks for your presentation. As a father of a early teenage daughter, and your discussion of, self-esteem and some of the awful things that kids say to each other these days, what type of things do you send home to parents at school to be able to talk to their kids about those subjects? Because it's one thing when they hear from you, it needs to be reinforcement, right? What you help parents say.
Thank you for so much for that question, because our families are a critical partner in that piece. And so with all of our girls, whether they're participating in a troop or in our in-school program, they have access to all of our resources online. Our Girl Scouts at Home, we launched a brand new website this year that parents can get on that helps them have those discussions at home. We have several blog posts that we put out consistently and email our parents about how do you have those tough conversations? How can you help them through the crisis? And different activities even that they can do as a family to have some of those tough discussions at home. And then of course, as I mentioned, we're also launching that training and support to our troop leaders and our volunteers to be able to have those critical conversations that they see at that level as well, but also how do you know, bringing those parents into that discussion on a troop level so that our girls can continue to grow. And then one of the things with our in-school programming that are mentioned, or community engagement programs, a lot of what we focus on is self-esteem, building positive, healthy relationships, and with those girls who send home information as well.
Any other questions? Any questions on Zoom today?
We have no questions from Zoom, President Alex.
Okay, thank you. And Christy, thank you so much for your presentation. Very, very enlightening. It's great to hear that the Girl Scouts are surviving. Wait just a minute. We have to give you this book. It is a book written by Rotary past president on the historical tales of Toledo.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We'll also make a donation in your name to the Polio Plus Fund. So, thank you again. Okay, so Chuck, man, I don't see Chuck. Is Chuck zooming?
Clyde took his wife Ethel to the state fair every year, and every time she would say to him, Clyde, you know that I'd love to go for a ride on that helicopter. But Clyde would always reply, I know, Ethel, but the helicopter ride is $50, and $50 is $50. One year they went to the fair, and Ethel said to Clyde, Clyde, you know that I'm 87 years old now. If I don't ride in that helicopter this year, I may never get another chance. Once again, Clyde replied, Ethel, you know that helicopter ride is $50, and $50 is $50. Now, the helicopter pilot was standing nearby and overheard the couple's conversation and said, listen, folks, I'll make a deal with you. I'll take both of you for a ride if you can both stay quiet for the entire ride and not say a word. I won't charge you. But if you say just one word, it's $50. Ethel and Clyde quickly agreed, and they went up in the helicopter. The pilot performed all kinds of fancy moves and tricks, but not a word was said by either Ethel or Clyde. The pilot did his death-defying tricks over and over again, but still there was not so much as one word said. When they finally landed, the pilot turned to Ethel and said, wow, I've got to hand it to you. I did everything I could to get you to scream or shout, but you didn't. I'm really impressed. Ethel replied, well, to be honest, I almost said something when Clyde fell out, but you know, $50 is $50. And there you go. Well, Alex is applauding, so that's a good sign.